Welcome back to the essence of yoga. In the last episode, we explored how yoga can support emotional healing, how it calms anxiety, eases stress, and helps us release emotions held in the body. Today, we're going even deeper. We're stepping into perhaps the most profound and transformative dimension of yoga, its spiritual side. Now, when I say spiritual, I don't mean religion, dogma, or belief systems you must follow. I don't mean something far away or outside yourself. What I mean is connection. Connection to yourself. Connection to the present moment. And connection to something greater than yourself, whatever name resonates with you: source, soul, love, God, spirit, or simply life itself. Yoga, at its core, has always been about wholeness. It reminds us that we are not separate. It shows us that peace, clarity, and wisdom already exist within us. And it gives us tools to remember that truth, again and again. So in this episode, we'll journey together into the spiritual heart of yoga. We'll explore what spirituality really means in this practice, how yoga acts as a path inward, the tools it offers us for inner connection, and how we can carry spiritual awareness into our daily lives. Take a deep breath. Settle in. This is not about doing yoga perfectly. It's about remembering who you really are. When most people first hear the word yoga, they think of postures, downward dog, warrior pose, headstands, or hand balances. And while these movements are important and beautiful, they represent just a fraction of what yoga truly is. Beneath the surface, yoga is, and always has been, a spiritual practice. But what does that mean? What is spirituality in the context of yoga? Spirituality in yoga is not about rituals, beliefs, or dogma. It is about awareness. It is about remembering your true nature, which is already whole, peaceful, and wise. It is about peeling back the layers of stress, distraction, and conditioning so you can reconnect with the essence of who you are. In Sanskrit, the word yoga means union. Union of body, mind, and spirit. Union of the individual with the universal. Union of the inhale and the exhale. This union is the heart of spirituality in yoga. Imagine for a moment the ocean. On the surface, the waves rise and fall, sometimes calm, sometimes stormy. These waves are like our thoughts and emotions. Always moving. Always changing. But if you dive beneath the surface, you find stillness, vast, silent, expansive. That depth is your spirit. Spirituality in yoga is the journey beneath the waves, into the calm depths of your being. This is why ancient yogic texts describe the true self as Sat Chit Ananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. It is not something you have to earn. It is something you already are. The practice of yoga simply reveals it. Now, how you relate to this essence will look different for each person. Some may experience it as a feeling of inner calm. Others may describe it as joy, clarity, or love. For some, it may feel like a connection with the divine. For others, it may feel like deep presence or simply being fully alive. There is no one correct way to describe it. Here's a simple practice. Close your eyes, place a hand on your heart, and take one slow breath in and out. In that single breath, there is connection. That stillness, that presence, is spirituality. Yoga doesn't ask you to believe in anything. It invites you to experience. Now that we've explored what spirituality in yoga means, let's talk about how yoga becomes a path inward. So often, we look outside ourselves for fulfillment. We think happiness will come when we reach a certain goal, find the right relationship, or earn enough money. But yoga reminds us that true peace is not found outside. It is found within. The sage Patanjali, who compiled the Yoga Sutras over 2,000 years ago, defined yoga as Chitvritti Nirodha, the stilling of the fluctuations of the mind. In other words, yoga is the process of quieting the mental chatter so we can experience the deeper self. Think of the mind like a lake. When the surface is disturbed, you cannot see clearly into the water. But when the water becomes still, the reflection is clear. Yoga helps still the waters of the mind so we can see who we truly are. This inward journey is not about escape. It is not about withdrawing from life. In fact, it is the opposite. Yoga teaches us how to engage with life fully, but from a place of awareness rather than reactivity. One of the most powerful frameworks for this journey is the 8 limbs of yoga, also outlined by Patanjali. Yamas, ethical principles, like compassion, truthfulness, nonviolence. Niyamas, personal observances, like self-discipline, contentment, self-study. Asana, physical postures, which prepare the body for stillness. Pranayama, breath control, which steadies the mind. Pratyahara, withdrawing the senses inward. Dharana, concentration. Dhyana, meditation. Samadhi, union with the self and the universe. This roadmap shows us that yoga is much more than physical poses. The poses are just one step. The true purpose is inner transformation. And the journey is not linear. It is a spiral. Each breath, each practice, each moment of mindfulness draws us inward, layer by layer. Sometimes we feel progress. Other times, we feel stuck. But every step is part of the path. So when you step onto your mat, remember, it's not about perfect alignment. It's about presence. It's about using each breath and each pose as a doorway inward. Yoga offers many tools for spiritual growth. Each one is like a key that opens a door to awareness. Pranayama, breathwork. The breath is a bridge between body and mind. When the breath is shallow and erratic, the mind is restless. When the breath is deep and calm, the mind follows. Practices like Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing, balance energy. Kapalabhati, breath of fire, energizes. Slow, diaphragmatic breathing soothes. Meditation, dhyana. Meditation is perhaps the most direct spiritual tool in yoga. It doesn't mean silencing your thoughts. It means becoming aware of them. By watching the mind with compassion, we realize we are not our thoughts, we are the awareness that observes them. Mantra and sound. Sound has vibration, and vibration shifts energy. Chanting Om resonates through the body and connects us with universal vibration. Repeating a mantra like So Hum, I am that, anchors the mind in presence. Journaling and reflection. Spirituality isn't only experienced in silence. Writing can be a powerful practice. Journaling allows us to release, to reflect, and to connect with the inner voice that speaks quietly beneath the noise. Stillness. In a world that values constant doing, stillness is radical. Sitting in silence, even for 5 minutes, opens us to awareness. In stillness, we remember who we are. These tools are not about achievement. They are about remembrance. They remind us, again and again, of our essence. Try this. After your next yoga practice, sit quietly for a few moments. Place your hands on your knees. Close your eyes. Notice your breath. Notice your body. Notice the silence within. This simple act is a spiritual practice. Perhaps the most beautiful part of yoga is that it doesn't stay on the mat. It becomes a way of life. Spirituality is not separate from daily life. It's not just what happens in meditation or in savasana. It is how you live, how you treat others, how you speak to yourself, and how you move through the world. The yogic principle of ahimsa, or non-harming, is one way we live spiritually. When we practice kindness, patience, and compassion toward others and ourselves, we embody yoga. Living spiritually also means seeing the sacred in the ordinary. Washing dishes can be meditation. Walking in nature can be prayer. Sharing a meal can be communion. Every act, no matter how small, can be infused with presence. Here's a practice. Next time you walk outside, instead of rushing, slow down. Notice your breath. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Look at the trees, the sky, the people around you. In that moment, you are practicing spiritual yoga. Living spiritually doesn't mean being perfect. It doesn't mean never feeling anger or sadness. It means bringing awareness to those feelings and choosing compassion whenever possible. It means pausing, breathing, and remembering. And in a world that is often disconnected, your presence becomes a gift. When you live from awareness, you ripple peace outward. So if you've ever longed for deeper meaning, or felt disconnected from yourself, yoga can guide you home. You don't need to escape the world. You don't need to follow rules or dogma. All you need is breath, presence, and intention. Yoga reminds us that we are not separate. We are connected, to ourselves, to each other, and to life itself. In the next episode, we'll explore the 8 limbs of yoga, the complete path that supports every part of this journey. Be sure to subscribe, like and hit the bell so you don't miss it. Thank you for being here. Thank you for walking this path with me. And thank yourself, deeply, for showing up for your body, your mind, your spirit and soul.